Farlost, created by John Miro.
3. That toad's fine, Dee. Let's go. Keep your panties on, Raj. Dina Rodriguez called over her shoulder to the two men tugging themselves free of their armored spacesuits as she tapped through menus on the screen mounted over the oversized airlock door. On the screen, blocks of green haloed the wire drawing of the anchors safely locking her ship into its cradle. She looked out the window and made a second pass with her flesh and blood eyes. The short-range maintenance craft with the name Bullfrog took up almost every inch of the space in the massive craft and equipment locker. Sure enough, the chunky anchors beneath the two heavy-duty equipment pods at the rear were engaged, and the two lighter front arms were fully extended, with their heavy-duty articulated hands locked around support struts built into the rear wall of the EVA craft storage tank. She really did look like a toad, Dina admitted to herself. All the same, she gave the craft a motherly nod and began unzipping her own spacesuit. She directed her gaze to the mechanized EVA suit stored under the close side of the toad. Murray's mech. How was the balance this time out, Murray? She heard the airlock beep and hiss behind her and turned to see Murray tugging on the ugly plaid lumberjack shirt he insisted on wearing over his Hascom-issued jumpsuit. Pilots and EVA experts were expected to be a little crazy. She supposed that extended to fashion sense, too. Frick's not moving so stiff since I took a hammer to his right ankle. Murray scratched his patchy beard and grinned. She took another look at Frick. The mechanized EVA suits were 15 feet tall, blue and white workhorses, built to provide both muscle and fine strength. Each had 2 sets of 3-fingered hands and feet, one set capable of bending alloy, and one set capable of carefully manipulating wires in enclosed spaces. The mental image of 5'0" Murray cursing and wailing on the armor-plated mech was made more ridiculous by the crude happy face he'd painted across the mech's high circular plating that passed for its head. A smiley face in a circle, painted carefully around the various sensor packages and lights. That there is proof Frack's a more advanced mech, Raj taunted. He doesn't need any of that rough stuff. Frack sat under the rear foot on the far side of Bullfrog. Both had been designed in the same factory at the same time and were materially the same, except for their paint jobs. But don't tell that to their drivers. Advanced, right, Murray said. Is that why you gotta pipe that silly jazz through the group channel when you're working? Kenny G is a master of improvisational jazz, and Frack's a sensitive machine, Raj grumbled as he finished zipping up his work suit and draped a hat over his long, pony-tailed black hair. He works better with the right mood music. Man, I need a nick fix, Murray. What have you got? Murray froze, his rolled-up knit watch cap halfway to his head. I thought you had the patches. Raj winced. Murray, we're going into the cellar for days. Now you're telling me we're going cold turkey, too? Dina laughed, killing the lights in the vehicle storage tank and grabbing a black backpack floating on the hook with her nameplate. Relax, kids, she drawled. Mama packed for the trip. She pulled out a shrink-wrapped carton of nicotine gum and waggled it in front of their eyes. Her crew whooped their appreciation as she cracked the carton and tossed a pack to each of them. They tore into the packs as she bounded past them through the open airlock. Okay, now, I promised Dwyer we'd haul ass, so hurry up. They each popped gum into their mouths, then dutifully collected their kit and followed her up and out. The trio gathered inside the common area on the other side of the vehicle tank airlock in a 10-meter by 10-meter curved chamber, actually a collection of airlocks, all currently open. Above them was another tank, and to either side were more access ways to adjacent tanks. The passages formed a honeycomb of rooms, each connected to a different tank via an airlock in the ceiling and floor. One airlock up and to the right would lead them to the starboard storm cellar. 2 airlocks over and 2 tanks down on the left was the port storm cellar. Redundancy was the rule of the day on a spacecraft to ensure the greatest chance of survival in case of a catastrophic event, like the one about to bathe HHL-6 in radiation. Anticipated, practiced for, and almost commonplace, but no joke. Dina and her crew were headed up, but they just caught a glimpse of a lean figure holding a grip beside an airlock heading down one spoke away. He held onto a grip on the side of the airlock and helped an awkward-moving, green-looking couple of scientists into the open hatch. "Bill," Dina informally called out to the first officer. "Command and control is the other way." First Officer William Chew stopped his forward momentum and launched back up and out of the chosen airlock in a slow spin. He smiled and waved as he rotated a few meters away, just visible halfway along the curving hallway. "I've been diverted, Rodriguez," he said in a deep voice, his face wearing its usual blend of wisdom and patience. Beecham requested assistance, ensuring his prototype array was properly stored before moving to a safe zone. "I'll be into the aft cellar for the duration." "Everyone's heard how Beecham requests assistance," Raj laughed, then sucked back on the spit the gum had stimulated and nearly set free in the zero-G. "That's why payload specialist is the best job on this boat," he told the first officer. "No customer service skills required." Dina laughed and poked Raj in the shoulder, sending him spinning into Murray's side. "He's got you there, Bill." The first officer's smile looked just a little worn. "There are days I agree with you, Specialist Patel." Murray and Raj chuckled politely like school kids before their favorite teacher. Dina was always impressed by Bill Chew's ability to effortlessly inspire respect and camaraderie from the crew, even from miscreants like Dina's man-children. She wasn't sure how he did it. Chew didn't scream or dole out punishment duties like Third Officer Villanueva. He didn't promise stock options and promotions like Second Officer Devine did, nor did he project the kindness and confidence Commander Dwyer did. As Murray and Raj gave feeble salutes, which was more than they did for everyone else, except perhaps Dwyer, and only then on a good day, she wondered what Chew's secret was. Chew never laughed out loud, never got hot under the collar, never huddled with the men to inspire them. He just kept calm and listened. He watched you with his kind brown eyes while you talked, and somehow, when he got around to answering your question or asking you to do something, you did your damnedest to do what he asked. Chew nodded and sank back down into the airlock. "Don't let me slow you down." Dina smirked. Sure enough, her guys picked up the pace and disappeared into the accessway above. Without a single command, glare, or request, Bill Chew had the two laziest crew on board hot-footing it. She bounced her way after them. Between Chew and Dwyer, she thought, at least Hascom had bought a couple good officers. She held her backpack against her side as she stopped herself at the top of the accessway and felt the nicotine gum inside. Strictly speaking, a controlled substance, but both her boys had been smokers in early life and as addicted now to patches and gum as they ever had been to cancer sticks. Dina idly wondered about the new lady security chief. Montague? No, Montaigne. As she kicked off, she realized there'd been no flag on her last supply requisition, which had included her boys' nicotine treats. In her 4 years with Hascom, hardly a supply shipment had gone by where she hadn't been asked to produce some new security form in triplicate for anything that could be in any way ingested, injected, swallowed, or absorbed into a bloodstream. Did that have something to do with Montaigne? Could HHL 6 be lucky enough to have 3 competent officers? "Raj, stop yanking on Murray's shirt tails." She hid her laughter as Murray tugged the hat from Raj's head and sent it tumbling past her. They might be idiots, but they were her idiots.
Farlost. Music by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. Learn more at servingworlds.com.